Do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Those words are not just philosophy, they are the foundation of transformation. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Every cut, every betrayal, every moment you thought you couldn't take another step, it's not here to destroy you. It's here to shape you. I have broken bones in the fight, tasted my own blood, and faced opponents stronger, faster, and more ruthless than me. But every single time, I learned. I adapted. I became sharper. If you are willing to let pain teach you instead of crush you, you will walk into every battle unbreakable. Today, I will give you 7 powerful lessons on how to turn your pain into unstoppable power. 1. Accept pain as a teacher, not an enemy. When pain arrives, most people's first instinct is to escape it. They bury themselves in distractions, scrolling endlessly on their phones, binge-watching shows, overworking, or surrounding themselves with noise so they don't have to face the discomfort. Others try to numb it through unhealthy habits, addictive pleasures, or pretending they are fine when deep down they are breaking. And some choose to talk endlessly about it, not to find a solution, but to feed the story of how life has been unfair to them. But I tell you this, every time you run from pain, you are also running from growth. You are avoiding the very experience that could elevate you to a higher level of strength, wisdom, and resilience. Every blow life delivers hides a valuable message. It is never random. Pain is feedback. It is telling you something about yourself. It might reveal where you are weak, where you lack preparation, or where your beliefs about yourself are too small. It might show you where you have been careless, or it might test the depth of your patience, discipline, and determination. In my own combat training, pain is not something I resist, it is something I pay attention to. A sudden sting in the arm tells me my guard was too low. A sharp ache in my ribs tells me my stance was too open. Burning lungs in the middle of a fight tell me my endurance still has a limit. These are not failures, they are instructions. And outside the arena, life uses pain in the same way. It exposes the cracks in your character. It shows you the relationships that are not serving you. It forces you to confront habits that are destroying you. But this only happens if you are willing to see it differently. If you keep asking, why me? Why does this always happen to me? You lock yourself in the prison of victimhood. That mindset makes pain your jailer, something that traps you and drains you. But when you shift the question to, what is this trying to teach me? You flip the entire experience. You place yourself in the role of a student, not a prisoner. Suddenly, pain is no longer the enemy you fight against. It becomes the teacher that sharpens your mind, disciplines your emotions, and strengthens your body. I have learned that pain, when respected and studied, becomes a lifelong mentor. It does not flatter you. It does not lie to you. It does not let you stay comfortable, and that is why it is the most honest teacher you will ever have. 2. Build mental fortitude through discomfort. The mind is like steel. It does not grow strong by being left untouched in a quiet, comfortable place. It must be shaped, heated, and hammered under pressure. Most people want resilience, but they want to get it while living in constant ease. They seek strength without sweat, courage without fear, and wisdom without challenge. That is impossible. Comfort is a silent poison. It feels pleasant in the moment, but it slowly robs you of your ability to face real difficulty. If you live in comfort for too long, the smallest hardship will feel unbearable. In my training, I learned that the body will always beg for rest before it has truly reached its limits. The mind will always tell you to stop before you have truly discovered your power. That is why I made discomfort my companion. I trained when the sun burned hot and when the rain soaked me to the bone. I practiced my strikes until my muscles trembled, my hands ached, and my breath came in short, ragged bursts. I stayed in the stance until my legs screamed at me to quit. These moments were not punishment, they were preparation. Because when the real fight came, when the real pain arrived, my mind had already walked through that fire many times before. You see, mental fortitude is not built by avoiding what is hard. It is built by seeking it out deliberately. It is choosing to push yourself when there is no one watching, when there is no applause, when there is no immediate reward. It is training in silence so that, in the noise of life's battles, you do not falter. Even outside martial arts, this is the same. If you want to be calm under pressure at work, put yourself in challenging situations before you are forced to. If you want to be patient in difficult relationships, learn to hold your ground when emotions rise. If you want to be disciplined with your goals, practice saying no to temptations that promise short-term pleasure. The truth is, every discomfort you face voluntarily makes you more immune to the discomfort life will throw at you unexpectedly. Just as a fighter conditions his body to take blows without falling, you must condition your mind to take the hits of life without collapsing. Discomfort is the gym where your mental toughness is built. The more you train there, the less the storms of life can shake you. 3. Transform emotional pain into focused energy. There is a kind of pain that cuts deeper than any punch to the face or kick to the ribs. The pain of betrayal, loss, humiliation, or failure. Physical wounds can heal quickly, but emotional wounds stay hidden, growing heavier with time if you don't know how to handle them. Most people allow this kind of pain to control them. They let it push them toward anger, resentment, self-pity, or revenge. They replay the hurt in their minds until it consumes them, and without realizing it, they give their power away to the very people or situations that caused the pain. But here is the truth. Emotional pain is raw energy. It is fuel, and you can decide whether you will burn it recklessly until there is nothing left, or refine it into something powerful that moves you forward. I have been laughed at, underestimated, and told to my face that I would fail. I have been mocked for my ideas, dismissed for my background, and told my vision was impossible. But instead of letting those words break me, I absorbed them. I took every insult, every doubt, and stored it deep inside, not as poison, but as fuel. When I trained, I didn't think of my critics with hate. I thought of them with purpose. I used their disbelief as a reason to push harder, to sharpen my skills beyond the limits I once thought I had. Every drop of sweat became a silent response to those who doubted me. And when the day came to show my work, I didn't need to speak or argue. My results spoke for me. You must understand, emotional pain, when left uncontrolled, will scatter your energy in all directions. You will waste time fighting ghosts, explaining yourself to people who don't care, or trying to prove your worth in meaningless ways. But when you take that same pain and compress it into a focused beam of action, it becomes unstoppable. Just like sunlight can warm you when spread out, but burn through steel when concentrated, your pain can either keep you stuck or cut through every obstacle in your way. So when someone hurts you, don't rush to get even. Don't waste nights replaying the moment in your mind. Instead, tell yourself, this energy will build me, not break me. Then pour it into training, learning, creating, and growing until the person you become is so strong that the pain they gave you no longer even reaches you. 4. Master the art of staying calm in the storm. Pain is most dangerous not when it hurts you physically, but when it pulls you into chaos mentally. A strike to the body can be endured, but a strike to the mind, if you are not disciplined, will make you lose your balance, your clarity, and your control. In a fight, I have seen opponents lose not because they lacked skill, but because they lost control of their emotions. Anger made them reckless. Fear made them hesitant. Frustration made them predictable. They were no longer thinking, only reacting. That is when defeat becomes inevitable. Life is no different. The storms you face, losses, betrayals, failures, are designed to test more than your strength. They are there to test your composure. Most people believe that strength means being able to strike hard or work longer than anyone else. But real strength is the ability to keep your mind steady when everything around you is shaking. If the waves rise high and the wind roars in your ears, can you still see the horizon? Can you still think with clarity when your emotions are screaming at you to panic? That is the mark of a master. In martial arts, one of the first lessons I learned was to stay calm under pressure. When I felt a fist connect with my jaw or my ribs, my natural instinct was to fight back instantly, to let anger lead my response. But over time, I discovered that the moment I let emotion take control, I became blind to my opponent's openings. The more I chased them out of frustration, the easier it was for them to trap me. So I learned to breathe deeply, even in the middle of the clash. I trained my body to absorb the impact without letting my mind explode with rage. This discipline saved me not just in the fight, but in life. When people insult you, they are not always trying to win an argument. Often, they are trying to pull you into emotional chaos because that is where they feel most comfortable. If they can get you to lose your calm, they have already won half the battle. That is why I never let another person's actions decide my emotional state. If I remain calm, I remain in control. Calmness is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. Anyone can throw a punch in anger, Anyone can shout when they are hurt. But it takes discipline to stand in the middle of the storm and keep your center. This is not about pretending you are unaffected. It is about choosing your response with precision instead of letting chaos decide it for you. I have learned that when you stay calm, you see things others do not. While they are blinded by emotion, you can notice patterns, anticipate moves, and act with calculated timing. In a fight, this means finding the perfect opening. In life, it means making decisions that others overlook because they are too caught up in their feelings. Calmness gives you an edge that no amount of brute force can match. The next time pain tries to shake you, imagine yourself as the still eye of a hurricane. Everything around you may be violent and loud, but at your center there is only clarity and control. You do not rush. You do not panic. You wait, you watch, and when you move, it is deliberate and unstoppable. Remember this. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. The real test is whether you can remain calm when the storm is at its worst. That is when your true strength is revealed. 5. Redefine your relationship with failure. Failure. For most people, this single word is enough to freeze their courage and stop them from even trying. They treat it like a final judgment, a permanent label that declares they are not good enough. But I tell you, this failure is not proof of weakness. Failure is proof that you stepped into the arena while others stayed in the safety of the crowd. It is evidence that you dared, that you took action while others simply imagined. I have failed more times than I have succeeded. In my early training, there were days I thought I was ready only to be thrown to the ground within seconds. There were techniques I believed I had mastered, but when I tried them in real combat, they fell apart. There were fights where I was outmatched, not because I lacked spirit, but because my strategy was wrong. At first, those moments were painful to face, but then I understood. Every failure was not a wall to block me. It was a mirror to show me exactly where I needed to grow. The problem most people have is that they see failure as the opposite of success. They think if they fail, they must have moved backward. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is a step toward it. Imagine climbing a mountain. Every time you slip, you learn where the rock is loose, where your grip is weak, where your balance is unstable. Those slips are the map that guides you to the top. Without them, you are climbing blind. In combat, I studied my defeats like a scientist. If my opponent landed a strike on my left side, I asked myself why my guard was open there. If my breathing gave out in the final round, I adjusted my training to build endurance. If my timing failed, I slowed down my practice until it became flawless. I didn't waste time blaming the referee, the weather, or bad luck. I put all my attention on what I could control, because that is the only way failure turns into progress. Outside the arena, this same truth applies. If you launch a business and it collapses, the lesson is not, I am a failure. The lesson is in understanding why it fell apart, whether it was poor planning, lack of skill, or wrong timing, and using that knowledge to try again with more wisdom. If you attempt a goal and fall short, do not let shame stop you. Shame is just a chain that keeps you tied to the ground. Cut it loose and move forward. Understand this. The people who succeed at the highest level are not the ones who avoided failure. They are the ones who learned from it faster than anyone else. They know that every setback contains information. They extract it, adapt, and return stronger. That is why you must stop fearing failure and start seeking it. Not recklessly, but with the understanding that every attempt, successful or not, is shaping you into someone more skilled, more resilient, and more dangerous to your obstacles. You will never master anything if you only take actions where success is guaranteed. Safety might protect your ego, but it will not sharpen your edge. Step into situations where you might fail, because those are the situations that will teach you more in one moment than comfort will teach you in a lifetime. The truth is this. You cannot control whether you win or lose every time, but you can control whether you learn or not. And if you learn, then you never truly lose. Failure only becomes permanent when you refuse to rise again. If you rise every time, you turn failure into the very foundation of your strength. 6. Use pain to sharpen your purpose. Pain is not only a teacher, it is a purifier. It strips away illusions, distractions, and the unnecessary. When life hurts you, it forces you to look closely at what truly matters and what is just noise. Most people think pain is here to break them, but I tell you, it is here to make you focus. It is a blade, and if you allow it, it will carve away everything that does not serve you until only your core purpose remains. When everything is going well, when you have comfort, applause, and smooth days, it is easy to lose sight of your direction. You become distracted by things that feel important in the moment but are meaningless in the long run. You chase the approval of others, you waste time on petty conflicts, you spread your energy across too many goals. But when pain arrives, suddenly all those things fade into the background. The moment you are tested, you stop caring about what is trivial and start caring about what is essential. I have experienced this in my training, when my body was pushed to exhaustion, when I felt the sting of injury or the weight of defeat. I was not thinking about impressing anyone or looking perfect. I was thinking about why I started. I was thinking about my vision, my commitment to my art, and my responsibility to myself. Pain narrowed my focus like nothing else could. It reminded me that my purpose was not to be liked or celebrated, but to become the most disciplined, capable, and truthful version of myself. The same applies outside the martial arts world. Think of someone who suffers a great loss or a deep betrayal often. That moment changes them forever. They begin to see life differently. They stop wasting time on shallow relationships or meaningless pursuits. They start protecting their energy and investing it only in what aligns with their values. Pain has a way of bringing your priorities into perfect clarity. But here is where most people make a mistake. They resist the clarity that pain brings. They try to go back to their old ways, to cling to the comfort of distraction. They do not want to face the truth that pain has revealed, that some people must be left behind, that some habits must be broken, that some paths they were walking lead nowhere. If you want to rise, you cannot make this mistake. When pain shows you what truly matters, you must listen. You must let go of the things that dilute your purpose and double down on the things that strengthen it. This is why I say use your pain as a compass. When something hurts you deeply, ask yourself, what does this reveal about my values? What does this show me about my path? If you are wise, you will use the answers to sharpen your vision. You will stop scattering your energy on the opinions of others, on battles that don't matter, on goals that are not truly yours. You will direct all your power toward the things that are worth enduring for. Pain is not pleasant, but it is precise. It will cut away the false parts of you if you allow it. And once it has done its work, you will find that you move through life with a lighter step, a clearer mind, and a stronger will. Your purpose will no longer be blurred by distractions. It will be sharp, and so will you. 7. Become untouchable through adaptation. No matter how strong, skilled, or disciplined you are, life will always find a way to test you in new and unexpected ways. The opponent you face today will not attack you the same way as the one you faced yesterday. The challenges of this year will not be identical to those of the last. If you believe that one victory means you are ready for all battles, you are already setting yourself up for defeat. The key to becoming untouchable is not perfection, it is adaptation. In combat, I learned this truth early. I have faced fighters who beat me in the first round, not because they were superior in every way, but because they used a technique I had never encountered. In that moment, I could have stayed trapped in frustration, repeating the same moves that were failing me, but instead, I adjusted. I changed my footwork, shifted my guard, altered my rhythm. By the second round, they could no longer land the same strikes. They were fighting a different version of me than the one they met before. That is the power of adaptation. It turns you into a moving target that no one can fully figure out. Life works exactly the same way. When pain hits you, when you face setbacks, when someone tries to break you, you cannot respond with the same strategy that has already failed. Too many people make this mistake. They repeat old patterns, expecting new results. They approach new problems with outdated thinking, and then wonder why nothing changes. If you want to be truly unbreakable, you must evolve every time life tests you. Adaptation begins with awareness. You must pay attention to what is working and what is not. If a method, habit, or mindset keeps leading you into pain, stop clinging to it out of pride or fear. Let it go and replace it with something better. This does not mean abandoning your principles. It means adjusting your approach while staying true to your core. Water can flow gently or crash violently, but it is always water. In the same way, you must be able to change form without losing your essence. The beauty of adaptation is that every hardship becomes a training ground. The first time you experience a particular kind of pain, it may knock you down. But if you learn from it, you will never be hurt in that exact way again. Over time, your enemies, whether they are people, circumstances, or even your own bad habits, will find fewer and fewer ways to reach you. Your defenses will not be walls that keep you rigid and trapped. They will be living, shifting systems that grow stronger with every challenge. When you adapt, you also remove fear from your mind. You stop being afraid of the unknown because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes. You do not need the world to be predictable. You simply need to stay alert and flexible enough to respond. This makes you dangerous to anyone who wishes to harm you because they can never truly prepare for the version of you they will face tomorrow. Remember, the oak tree that refuses to bend in the wind will eventually snap, but the bamboo that sways will survive even the fiercest storm. To become untouchable, you must learn to bend without breaking, to change without losing your center, to grow without losing your way. Adaptation is not weakness, it is the highest form of strength because it ensures you can never be defeated in the same way twice. Pain will come for you, it is not a matter of if, but when. You cannot hide from it, you cannot bargain with it, and you cannot avoid it forever, but you can decide what it will make of you. Weak minds treat pain as an enemy and spend their lives running from it. Strong minds treat pain as a teacher and walk toward it with open eyes. Every wound you carry can either rot and weaken you, or be forged into the steel that makes you unstoppable. I have lived through broken bones, defeats, humiliation, and doubt both from the world and from myself. But I did not let those moments define me. I learned from them, I adapted to them. I shaped myself through them. That is the difference between someone who falls and stays down, and someone who rises so many times that life itself cannot keep them down. Remember, this pain will shape you whether you want it to or not. The choice is yours. Will it shape you into something fragile that shatters at the first blow, or into something unbreakable that only grows stronger with each strike? Let pain be the fire that tempers you, not the flood that drowns you. Let it sharpen your focus, fuel your energy, and force your evolution. When you stop running from it, when you start learning from it, when you allow it to forge you, you will discover a power inside yourself that no storm, no enemy, and no circumstance can destroy. Let pain shape you, not break you.